Hey, you came back. Sacred Streets, where we explore spirituality in urban spaces. I'm Keita.
I'm Baba Shola.
And I'm Ogun Bola.
And today, we got our partner here, our brother, TaTa.
Yes.
We're going to talk to you today and learn about your spiritual journey.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
You ready to share with us today?
Yes.
All right. So
TaTa, give us a idea of your background first. Where are you from?
I'm from New York. My family's from North Carolina. I grew up in a spiritual family. I grew up spiritual, different spiritualities, Christianity, Islam, Judaism, to hoodoo, roots, juju, all that stuff, to Ep.5. That was my journey.
And so we brought TaTa on because TaTa's lived 10 lifetimes already. You know, he mentioned these different spiritualities that he's actually been through, initiated in, and practiced in. We met years ago in an Ep.5 house in Southwest Atlanta. And so from day one, he's always been a highly spirited brother. So, normally you don't get to talk to people like this,
Right.
because normally we just kind of do our jobs in the spiritual setting and then we're going to our corners. But, we want to be able to expose some of the different nuances of growing in the tradition, finding your way, even marrying different spiritual traditions into one body. Because a lot of cases we feel like Christians in the mind to where you have to do one thing. Right. Either you're Christian but spirituality is for everybody. All spiritualities are for everybody, and everybody's journey takes different times and has different periods. So give us an idea or the idea of what brought you into spirituality or African spirituality or deeper levels of spirituality in practice form. And when you got in, where did it take you in life?
Well, it started when I was young. I was about 12 or 13 at my grandmother's house. I was visiting from New York, and I had a fever that I couldn't get rid of. It was high. They was they had to take me to the house. My grandma was like, no. So she was a spiritualist. She was like, I'm gonna get my oil. And she come to lay the oil, and I don't remember what happened after that. All I know, my father was like, I never heard the devil talk Jamaican. That's what they classified. But
you was talking Jamaican. You was
that was TaTa then.
The spirit when you was talking Jamaican. Okay.
Yeah,
and they was like the devil. Okay, yes.
Oh, wow. Okay. So that was the first experience, but I shunned it. So later on, as I came into this fold, I moved to the South, to Georgia, South Carolina. I used to feel things, but I didn't know what it was, your gut feeling, like a woman's intuition, and I would just meet people without telling them something. But at that time, I didn't know you yet. I had a friend in Charlotte. He practiced Palos. So I would send him, I got a friend you could talk to. And it would just feel like in the supermarket, hey, but I didn't know what it was yet. And it worked up until, I came to Georgia, met some people here, went to a few bimbes, and then it started coming back.
I remember the company.
Yeah, that was my journey. So, and in that, I didn't know what I was supposed to do. Because, prior to that, I had been places where they said, oh, you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to do that. And I was like, no, I just want to get a reading. So, but they said, if you don't do this, it's not going to be right for you. So it took time. You got to learn. You got to, accept it. Until one day I was just like, okay, I guess this is what I'm supposed to do. Because, I worked... on movie sets, but outside of that, I sold jewelry for a long time. Not panhandling, but
you were hustling. You were hustling.
Going to different places. So I was a jeweler. I'm like, I let the spiritualists be spiritual. I go see them for my, but they was like, you have to help the people. So it took me a while to get there. And so one day I just accepted it, and then that was my journey. And it just, I had to learn how to turn that on and off. You was there because it's like I didn't know how to control what they call possession.
Yeah. Let me just drop some context from experience because I remember what we just called the comeback. We were in a spiritual house, right around the corner from the dungeon, the Dungeon family's first
Yep.
recording basement studio. Like Art Elay was right around the corner from there.
History.
And it was an amazing time. But I remember the first time we had a couple ceremonies. Things were just regular, and then like 3 or 4 in, things started to get a little more intense for just everybody.
Right.
And TaTa at the time, Shalomo, had got possessed, and it was rare because you never seen him outside of just chilling. You know,
Right.
it was just, you know, we talk, we chill, that's it. But the possession was like, it was wild, and nobody knew who it was, what it was. It didn't look like Orisha. It was like, what is that? You know, so we did what we knew to do to calm the spirit down. And it kept coming back. And so that was the first time I saw him actually possessed, and just witnessing like the intensity of TaTa. And because we were E5 people, we didn't know what to call him, you know? And so I don't know if his disgruntled energy was because nobody knew his name for a long time, you know? It was a thing, you know? It was a thing. We'd be like about to hit people and shit. What's up with this tune, man? And not knowing that the spirit wanted to be recognized, you know?
Exactly.
And nobody knew. Because we were all thinking, well, we don't know, you know?
Right.
So it was a interesting crossroad, and the lesson I learned from that experience into like now through TaTa is that like you have seasons, you have spiritual seasons in your life. It could be seasons in a year, or it could be seasons in your life to where like when he came to E5, that wasn't the end of his journey. That was just the beginning. That's the only, in my perspective, let me just, how I was looking at it. That was the way TaTa could get recognized.
Right.
You know, that was the way he could come out and somebody would acknowledge. We didn't know who, but there was acknowledgement there. And through other ceremonies, other initiations, other systems,
Right.
that spirit became fully recognized and became a part of your everyday life. If I'm saying correctly. Yeah, so like, if your lineage, like some people worry about, well, am I supposed to be in the Khan tradition or Palo? Like, I would say just start. You know, wherever you are, whatever presents itself to you that has harmony, peace, and balance, start. Because like yourself and other people, like that first door that opens is just a door into spirituality in some cases.
Right.
And you'll end up finding where you're supposed to be along the way. And sometimes you're supposed to be in all those places at once. So that's just something I learned from just watching his experience, you know, up till now. So,
Well, it could be for wait. He just dropped a whole bunch of everything.
Yeah, you went in.
how we know each other? You know, I've been knowing
Y'all know each other. We like, wait, what? Who is this spirit? Am I allowed to ask? Like,
Yeah,
Okay, like-
yeah, for sure.
who is this spirit, if we may so?
Okay,
Please
so-
let us know.
So I never really was going around and saying, you know, I do Palo or people to call me TaTa. TaTa is a spirit from my father,
Wow.
right? He's a Congo. His name is TaTa Kazi. So,
Okay.
you know, he wanted, like he said, he wanted to be known.
Okay.
And for me to still do what I do, but I guess, no, ain't no guess. Palo was the only connection I could get closest to him.
Okay. Okay.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
Because he never he never came over here. They took his people.
I got
Just
you.
my father's people.
Okay.
And so this is why I do what I do.
Okay. That's deep. That is. I just know for me and people who are listening or watching along, we all like.
No, because some people say, well, I use the title, but it's not like it was put on me. because people recognize that spirit and they just were like, oh, that's TaTa. Or if I'm dancing, I wouldn't actually come out. He wouldn't come out, but if you know me, you know, okay, that ain't him. That's TaTa, because I could tell.
Okay.
You have to hear no, and this person to know.
But that dope, bro. Cause so we'll just keep it street, right? You know, you feel me? So we'll just keep it street. So like somebody from the streets, you be like, oh, I want to go. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Your title wasn't self-given.
Right.
Your title was given by the people. So it's an official title. You get what I'm saying? I ain't name myself, yeah, I'm TaTa. Like the folk, nah, bro, you TaTa. So that would make it even more dope.
Right.
Because the people named you. You get what I'm saying? Yo, that what's up, man. Yo,
Wow.
that would make it even more dope. Yo.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, I think this ties into one of our past episodes where we were talking about possession. But it seemed from the direction of that conversation, women were more prone to possession. So what you all are presenting to me is interesting because it is a brother who is in tune with it, but it's not just anything or anyone coming through him. It's a specific spirit. So is that the difference, or are just some people just more sensitive to, being a host?
Yeah.
For
Some people are hosts, or horses, as they would say.
What a name?
A horse.
Okay.
As
A
they
horse.
say. It's called the horse. Like, you the horse for that spirit.
Okay.
Because prior to that happening, there was someone else that was having a situation, and it kind of like bumped off that person onto me. Because he couldn't handle it at the time.
okay,
Blaze. So like, it was a situation, because like you said, when we was doing that stuff, we was just, it was joyous. So to see it, I don't know. I mean, I'm just there, and I'm there one day. I got on a linen suit. I'm not trying to be possessed. I'm trying to chill.
right,
Clean as a whistle. I call myself
Clean.
I just called myself going up there, and it was gone. And all I remember one part. I was on the ground, and I saw him, and I said, "Help me." Me.
yeah.
Then it went back to whoever. What's going on?
Wow. Okay, wait.
Wait.
I am invested.
Let me make the movie clear. Let me make the movie like
Try to say SOS then.
so let's stop at clean. Let's start at clean.
All right.
Clean is canary yellow linen suit. Top and bottom. Clean.
Canary yellow?
Canary
Oh,
yellow.
he was
Clean.
He was granddaddy clean.
White, you know what I mean? Clean, right? So when he said, "Help me," that was in the middle of rolling around in the dirt.
Oh.
He was muddy already, because normally a person that gets possessed, they start bringing water. They put water. They start putting water on you. So put the water on in the dirt made mud on the canary yellow suit. So he's on the ground like, help me!
Right.
So yeah, and like, we don't know Palo, nothing,
Okay.
So we thinking Ogun, because it was almost violent,
Okay.
Like, it's gotta be Ogun or something like that. But yeah, that was an interesting ceremony, because that was when I was introduced to that energy of TaTa. And so over time, TaTa would just keep coming. Mm-hmm. He would dance for Oya. He would dance for Ogun. But if you could tell, there was some kind of connection between Oya and Ogun and TaTa.
Oh, wow.
Because of the horse or the host,
Right.
how he would dance for those different spirits.
Right.
So as a elder, I wasn't an elder then, but I was older than everybody else as far as in the tradition. So as an elder looking in, you're like, well, maybe it's Oya, maybe it's Ogun,
Mm-hmm.
And so when you're looking at a spirit in a body, the best way to do it is just to ask, who it is. But in some cases, they wouldn't speak.
Wow.
They would just be like, O'Connor, just be like, yo, what are you saying? We sometimes we couldn't figure out what it was.
Right.
And, over time it ended up being a Congo spirit that joined the party like, oh, they drumming down there. Oh, and my son down there. Okay, let's go.
So
That's
like,
kind of how, like.
Yeah.
so for you, it's just a sensation of being asleep. Like you don't even remember it.
Right, no. Like, normally, if it was stuff on the ground, like candles and stuff, I'd probably knock it over. But I'm there just stepping over everything, just dancing.
Wow.
Not touching none of the stuff. They looking like, oh man, he's gonna start a fire. But then we thought you was going, but it wasn't me.
Yeah.
So, no. Only like in the ending when I'm trying to like stop it.
Right.
So I couldn't control it at the time. Like I could be driving and it just hit.
That's deep.
Yeah.
That's deep.
Yeah.
You mentioned something else too, and this is, I'm seeing a pattern, and you mentioned something where you said it's like the spirit knew who could handle it.
Right.
What made you better to handle it than the other person?
Well, honestly, I don't know. I take it as my gift from my family. 'Cause
Okay.
both sides of my family, like they do it in the church. Like
Okay.
they do the whole. Why they at home? They just if we about to leave, they like, okay, he leaving. Whole hand, they gonna pray, and somebody is gonna start doing the thing.
Interesting.
Yeah, somebody gonna. But that never happened for me that way. Like they wanted it to. They would send me up. They going up there, and everybody go up there. They put the thing. I'm like, I just fall back, but.
Yeah, you ain't feeling that.
No, I ain't feeling that. My cousin would do it, he'd do it all day. Then leave and go to the store, get a beer. I'm like, how you do that? Oh, it's gone now. So I'm like, that's not what I think it is. Because he was like, it's the Holy Ghost. I'm like, well how? You left, you're drinking the beer. And they're like, it's gone now. I said, it just come like that? I'm like, he used to do the thing, speaking.
Yeah. So has your family met TaTa?
No, they ain't ready for that.
Boy.
No, they not.
Maybe in a church setting.
No, they know what I'm into, but they more look like I'm, like I'm into something else.
Interesting.
You know how they look at it. I don't have to say it. Yeah, that's how they look at it. But before my mother passed and other people, they was like, well, hey, he's doing better than before. I'm a changed person from 20 years ago.
Okay.
Well, Paul say change, man, but I'm still the same. But you're right up. So let me ask you this, TaTa, right? I just want to ask you about John the Conqueror. We can.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a popular route that people like to use. The more younger generation, they get more into hoodoo. So how would somebody come to you, how would you tell them just to use the John the Conqueror? We ain't got to go too deep. Just how would they use?
John the Conqueror.
Yeah.
There's plenty of ways to use John the Conqueror root. I would tell them to use you could use it for luck.
Okay.
'Cause I keep one. I just don't have one.
Right.
The basics. It's just luck, the energy. Because John the Conqueror is an energy that helps you. Like, what I learned, because I was always an underdog. So, John the Conqueror, according to what they say,
He was the underdog. Then he became the king. Right. I just want to,
So that's why I would use it with oil, like for whatever I needed it for.
Right.
I mean, I would talk to it and tell it, okay, this is what I need.
Put your attentions
That's
into
why
it.
I put my attention.
Okay, yeah,
That's the thing. That's how I used it.
for the people out there, because a lot of people,
You can grind it,
right.
put it in the can.
Okay. See, I never heard of that one. Okay. Because sometimes it be a lot of, we know it's a lot of misinformation out on the internet, even though we're going to be on the internet, but coming from a devotee and a practitioner, you get what I'm saying? It can be received better than somebody, in the book written by a white person, who use it. But you did what I'm saying. Yeah, okay. So one more question. How was your experience coming from New York to Georgia? Was it culturally different for you?
No,
Or did you adjust?
I like honestly, in heart, I'm a Southerner.
Okay.
My family from the South.
Right.
So I love the South.
Okay.
Like I always, my mother's like, why you want to move out?
I always ask everybody from New York,
Why you want to move
Yo,
out South? Like
okay.
that's the country. Like,
Yeah. See what I say?
and I like, and when I realized it's like, because I didn't know, I'm a tribal goon. So it's like the country.
You at home.
My
Right.
people sharecroppers. We
Right.
get tobacco.
Yeah.
I used to work in tobacco, bro.
Okay,
Like
okay.
football fields of it.
Right.
I mean, prominent.
Yeah.
I grew up in that. So coming to Georgia was the thing. And I always wanted to move to Georgia since I was little. My
Okay.
family like, you want to move down there, they be taking black people.
Yep. And that's why I ask people. I ask people that from New York because that's exactly what they say. And then when I ask them, like, you gonna move back to New York? Hell no, I ain't going back up there. No.
I like it here. It's more of a, it's like a, from then we used to always look at Atlanta and Georgia as the black Mecca.
Yep.
It's like when I grow up, that's where I'm going.
That's where I'm going. Okay.
Because it's, we in New York, it's racist, but it's a different type of racist.
Right.
But I knew Georgia was racist, but it was the more of a like black freedom
Right.
type of thing.
Oh, you good.
Well, down here, the white boy call you a nigga to your face, but up there, they'll keep you out the unions and shit.
Exactly.
That part.
It's the Italian and Jewish race.
Right.
But not all of them are racist.
Yeah, of course.
what I'm
Yeah,
saying? But-
yeah.
Here I experienced that when I moved here.
Yeah.
Nobody ever called me, well, except in North Carolina. So, but when I first came to Georgia, I had that happen.
Yeah. I did.
But yes, John the Conqueror is a good movie.
Okay. I just wanted to ask, man, John the Carpenter people, make sure you tune in what he say.
I got a question. Can you say a couple things to dispel the myths of Palo practice in America? Because normally when people think about Palo, like they look at like, well, Ifa is like the highest consciousness, and then there's the other ones, but Palo is where, the dirty go happen, and it's dirty all over. It's dirty in all religions. But people tend to look at Palo as something that is based in spells and evil, revenge and things like that, as opposed to something that's was brought over by ancestors as a tool, as a spiritual tool that looks different than what we're accustomed to, because Ifa has been around, it's been like in the public for some time.
Right.
But because Palo and Paleros are not as public,
Right.
you don't really get to discuss or talk to them about the intricacies
Right.
of their practice. And mostly what you read is like, oh, it's spells, and they always, it's about cursing people and that. And all of us know that that's not true.
No.
That's a part of everything. There's curses for every part of our tradition, and then there's blessings for every part of our tradition. So could you dispel a couple of the myths and why of like the negative notation that Palo has gotten over the years?
That's why I asked about the John Conqueror Real, because Palo is it's not, basically what you said, is not in the front. I just wanted to say that, to come from,
Well,
somebody.
it's just been demonized so much because of some of the things they do and how they work. And because of that, and because of, it's really was demonized because of some movies. That's really how it got demonized in the U.S. And we know Palo is really a Congo-based, nature-based tradition, like Orisha and Ifa. And it's also for growth. Palo's for growth and expansion. It's not just about spells, because truthfully, any priest in any tradition can do negative or positive. So Palo's not that. Palo's used to help. Most of my work is to help people in certain situations, money situations, different situations. Some people like are mediums or sponges, and sometimes they get attached spirits on them. And you might go to E5, you might go over here, and it can't get off you. But Palo's the way to take it off. Not saying that E5 can't, but it could be something that's a Congo-based type of thing that's going on there. You know?
It needs a specific application.
And Palo is not a stepping stone. Palo's it's his own thing. It's his own thing. Like E5's his own thing. But they made it more of like an elementary school, like your kindergarten, then you do Risha. But I've met people that's Paleros, they've been Palo all their life and they elders.
And they're 95 people, they don't do any of that.
No, that's all they do.
Exactly.
I will say this, Palo's, go ahead.
No, when you say demonized, I just keep thinking about one movie, The Rainbow and the Serpent.
Rainbow and the Serpent.
Yeah.
That was the worst
movie. That demonized voodoo.
Oh, yeah. That was,
right.
But it was another movie put out, I forget, it was in Mexico about this guy. They had it on Netflix. I can't remember the name of the movie, but he wasn't really a Palero, but he moved to Mexico, tricked these people that he did Palo. And what happened was it was some people on vacation, and they were white, and they took one of them and used their body, you know, for the Palo stuff. And that's what made it look bad and demonized it. Like, this is what they do. But no, Palo is it's like I won't say it's like E5 in cosmology. It's to help. You know, we have some of the same symbols, or we deal with some of the same points that E5 deal with when it comes to the board. You know what I'm trying to think.
Pony 5.
The Pony 5, because it's dealing with Northwestern, you know, the points in nature. Yes, we also deal with the dead. Well, I don't like to use the word dead because we deal with the forces of nature, the ancestors. We call them Bakudu. So Palo it's its own thing, you know.
And it has a lot of similar components as E5.
Right.
It's just a different practice from a different place, a different demographic. And I think people, like you said, they make it where Palo is like the kindergarten, then you graduate to this and this, but it's not really like that. I'm glad you said that Palo stands on its own because we're in this side of the world, we're a little new to African spirituality and how it was spread out, how it was brought back together to be able to survive. Exactly. To where people don't understand, and there are people who are Paleros that have nothing to do with Ifa at all. Also, they don't understand that through the Mahafa or the slave trade, that for the tradition to survive, they need to put Palo and Ifa and some of those things together in order to make sure that these traditions didn't disappear. Yeah. And so again, we always go back to education and making sure you're aware of the thing that you're studying, practicing, because, you know, just even having this conversation is like, I don't want you to have to defend Palo, but it seems like we always have to, you know, we always have to defend it because of what people make of it, but also it's because people don't understand that it's its own practice, a spiritual system in itself. And character is a part of it, you know, having good character, treating people right. Like the basic African principles are there.
Yes, they are.
It's just what you see is spell. Like, so I'm glad you was able to touch on a few of those things because, you know, Palo really gets a bad rap and it's very powerful.
Right.
And in my opinion, it's one of the tools that we haven't used quite yet for freedom.
Exactly.
It's that powerful. So, I mean, if you look at Haiti, they use a system similar to Palo. Like Palo and Voodoo have the same kind of energy. You know, it has the ability to conjure this heat, or this fire energy. You know what I mean? So, like we haven't touched it and start to use that for our benefit because it's been given that stigma.
Right.
You know?
Right. So it sounds like
One thing work.
Nah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good.
TaTa might be a rhymer. So
Now, so
Oh Lord.
so like he's correct because I come from that. What he's talking about.
Yes.
It's called Champoel, which is like it's the Congo rights, and without those Congo rights in Haiti, there would be no freedom. You understand? Every general in Cuba was a Palero.
Wow.
That's all I'm gonna say. Then you get the rest.
Well, it sounds like, and this is kind of going with
Yeah,
it.
we ain't gonna go too deep. That's why I asked about John Connor, because that's surface.
Well, just keeping surface though, and this, again, I'm a newbie spiritualist, so forgive me if this sounds like a dumb question or
question.
assertion, you know, just assertion. But it sounds like your people, your ancestors have to tell you what's okay for you to study under and to practice, you know. So I don't know. I just feel like that was the way it was for like. That's why I was taught with in E5 when you get these readings and you get your due. It might come back and say E5 ain't for you. You know.
Well, for me, it's different. I'll say this: it's different for every person because I thought that. So, because I was on a journey where I was like, you know what, I'm just on this powers
Okay.
and voodoo. I ain't with nothing else. And it was like, no, that's not it. For me, I had to be balanced because I would get on something, I'd just stay on that. And then it was like, no, because I'm thinking like I'm thinking a lot of stuff was coming from different places, but it was me.
Okay.
And what was it? I had to honor everybody because we gumbos are different people. I got Ewe people, Yoruba people, Congo people. So I had to deal with the voodoo. I had to deal with the Ifa and Palo, all separately.
Wow.
And I have these things at home, but right now, do I deal with them all? No, because voodoo is kind of like those spirits are, like we making miss a day with Ifa. When voodoo, you're like, oh, you missed a day with me, and it might cause you some problems. So
Yikes.
you could just put them down for a minute, and then when you know you're serious, then you bring them out.
I got you.
So for me, it's just Apollo, and I do my Ifa thing to keep the balance, man. For me. Now, some people say, well, why you doing Ifa and Palo? But this is my destiny. I'm respecting my mother's side and my father's side.
Well, what I'm finna say for the amazing people, man, I want to tell them TaTa is one of the best dancers at the Bembe.
Y'all heard who said it?
Wait. You talking about
no
you
smoke.
talking about TaTa the person or TaTa the spirit?
Oh,
Because TaTa
I'm about to say.
the spirit.
That's what I'm talking about.
That dude.
And
Women.
Uncle Bowler said that. Uncle Bowler said that. When bro come in the ceremony,
Shut it down.
right.
It's true.
It's true.
And so the first time we saw TaTa come and dance, it's like, oh, okay.
It's like he on
He
war.
turned up.
Yeah.
He turned up. And so after that, as drummers, we'd be like, okay, all right, TaTa here.
Right.
It's going down.
Yeah.
So you got him and like 4 other people at the ceremony. You already know it's a party.
Right.
Somebody gonna get possessed.
Right.
And so part of that is why I like when TaTa comes, because when TaTa comes to the party,
Yep.
other people get possessed.
I know that's what, yeah.
Like some people get possessed and then it just kind of like happens and it fades away. But when TaTa get possessed and start dancing around, it starts to hop through the crowd, which makes it a more lively ceremony.
If he come out,
And he dancing his ass
if
off.
he come out, and he might just laugh on you and go, ah. Then you just, he do that.
Yeah.
For real.
True.
This is a sensitive topic for me. So
I said.
Yeah.
I put
I have not been to my first
dance
Bembe yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is going to be interesting.
You're gonna, yeah. Okay.
He's very majestic.
Look at you with your followers.
On the world, but majestic. I read a little bit this week.
Nah, crazy. But nah,
That's awesome.
That's interesting.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And so for your Ifa journey, and you just said that there's 3 different systems that you have been practicing, have shrines to, and work. So again, like, this don't look like it looks for him, for me. It doesn't look like what's gonna look like for her, for him. Like, it's gonna look different for each person. So when you're getting into different African spiritual systems, remember that you have your own destiny. And even if you're going through Ifa, or you came in through Mary de Lagoon reading or something like that, sometimes, like you mentioned earlier, sometimes they can say, well, you need to go here for healing, or your ancestry may be through this lineage. And the thing about Ifa is not Yoruba specific. Ifa is not a system that just talks only for Yoruba people and the Yoruba spiritual system. It talks to life. So I've seen where Ifa says you're supposed to be Muslim on the mat for Ifa, saying you're supposed to practice Islam. And so the note is, sometimes your gumbo may be a big pot of gumbo with 20 different ingredients in it. But if you notice, he said he practices those things separately. That's the point I want to bring up, because sometimes we'll get overexcited and we'll start to put these things into one practice. Like, for example, I've heard people say, well, I have a shrine for Oya, my Egun, and what's the deity, the Indian deity that's similar to Oya, that they syncretize with Oya?
Down in Mexico.
Oh, you talking about India?
Yeah.
Kalima?
Kalima. So, and when I hear them, I'm like, yo, stop. I get it. You know, I get where you're going, where you're coming from. And yes, everything is one, but everything is not one also. And so spiritualists have to understand that. It's like when you look at the circle, any circle through the Congo, through Yoruba, like the circle is all one circle, but there's billions of segments in the circle. So Kali is not Oya. Point blank, period, you know? But they do share similar energy or similarities. But that doesn't mean that they go on the same shrine or altar.
Got it.
So you can have your Kemetic altar going, candles lit, doing your Amun Ra, you're doing your Maya, you're doing your Anubis, you're doing all those rituals. But then your Ifa shrine is separate. You're doing Oshe Ifa, you're doing offerings and doing that, but then you may have your Palo. You're doing Sarabanda, you're doing those things. So it's important that those who are watching to understand that you don't put all these things into one gumbo and start eating it. We're talking about the gumbo of your life, you know, meaning that your destiny has all these things in it, which includes love, travel, family, all of that, including spirituality. But when you start to segment the spirituality, it's important that we separate the rituals, separate the traditions. And if you are a person like TaTa and others who are supposed to practice many different systems at once, it's important that we separate them so that things don't get real crazy in your spiritual life.
Exactly.
Did I see a church finger from you?
Amen, bro.
Well, on that tip,
And the Lord.
and the Lord,
That's right, bro.
the Lord. On that tip, have you seen instances where people are following Christianity and Ifa?
Hell yeah.
You don't see that a lot, though, unless they're just keeping it on the low.
Yes, I see it every day.
Muslim too, Islam too.
I see it every day.
Really?
Most of my clients are Christians.
What?
There's nothing wrong with it.
Most of the people I do readings for are Christian. You would think that Bilal has all these Orisha people with all these.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
The Orisha people that actually come get readings are like 10 to 15% of my clientele. Everybody else are all Christians.
Interesting.
Doing Ebo, doing the whole thing. Yeah. Straight up.
Is that the next episode?
Well, I mean, Ep.5 is heavy in the church. It's just they're not talking about it. But that's been like that. The black church been the hub for African spirituality forever. It's just we keep it in the basement, you know. And those who know. And those who don't, you don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's like
He just say when they were praying, hold the hands when his family members get the spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they, you know, to them.
Oh, that's another part. Another part of this journey was when we all went together. I'll never forget this. It was Katrina. I used to live in New Orleans. So I lived in New Orleans, and when I lived there, I had a dream. It's like about a storm. When I left, I moved to Georgia. And later on, I met Baba and them. And after Katrina, we went for the healing of
The grief ritual.
the grief ritual. And we went from I think it was not the Capitol, it was like the State House to the Dome.
Okay.
And drum. That was like, I mean, when we got to the Dome, like a big cloud just came, and the rain came, and the reporters ran to us like, way out front.
I remember that.
Then the next day,
I remember that.
I was, the storm had left a lot of stuff out. And I was coming, now back then I didn't know nothing yet with the Risha stuff yet. But I found a couple things that was just, it was just a four-way. It was stuck in something, like stuck in a piece of wood. I came back with it. And I'm walking, and they see me, him and the other Bible, what's his name? His house we was at?
Ayanyemi.
Ayanyemi, they like, look at Ogun coming. I had to change too. But all this stuff became part of my Ogun.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, from Katrina. So that was like that was part of that journey. And we went to the church, the cathedral church, and it had all this stuff in there with the Rishas and the ladies from Brazil. And we went to it was a monument for the unknown slaves, and we poured libation. And soon after we did it, the ladies from Bahia came with us as we started singing. That was like the best experience for my first experience around the Risha.
That was dope. That was a dope trip.
And that's when I knew I had this possession thing, but I didn't realize it until I got back. I'm like, wow, I was feeling like that. Because all, the cemeteries are built on the ground. So that I had a relationship with the dead. So it was like the whole while I was there, I'm like, it was like, cause we was in Congo Square. We was all over New Orleans.
Yeah.
And I came, and that's like a couple things led up until then.
Okay.
To that moment.
That was
You tapped in.
That was a fire trip. Maladome Some was doing a black hole grief ritual. And they built this black hole to send all the grief through the black hole. And it was about, maybe about 15 feet tall, about 15 feet wide, full black hole. Drummed in front of that. People just sitting their energy. And why that sticks out is because that was the first time I ever drummed and got a massage. Like the women came and started massaging the drummers. I was like, get it up! This feels Yo, it was tripping, man. It's like, it had never happened before. And so I guess it was a group of masseuses there, and they were looking to be a part of the ceremony, so they just started massaging the drummers. I was like, man, we need this every time. But that ritual was, like, we sent so much, like, sadness into that black hole, and they sealed it up somehow. But that was part of that trip. Wow. Yeah, that was an interesting trip. Very, very spiritual, very, very, it was monumental because we were going around town doing spiritual work on the grounds with a person from New Orleans who was a Mardi Gras Indian as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this sounds like a very deep journey into the saga of TaTa. Like, it's like we barely.
So we can go into, maybe we can play drums and get TaTa to come.
I'll be setting over. I'll be right over. I'll be right over shooting young. I'll be right over shooting young. Yeah, man, I'll be right there.
They come in the building like, Yeah.
Look at your producer over there. Look
On
at
that
him. Look,
note-
he ready.
On that note,
All right.
See?
I do. On that note, I think we could all make well do with extinguishing fear, tapping into who you really are, and being comfortable there. And we invite you all to reach out to us and tell us about your experiences and your journeys, your own inner journeys, like our brother TaTa here. And yeah, see what comes about, what comes of it.
Yes.
And that's where we leave y'all. Ashe.
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 Like and subscribe.
Judgment.